All right, today we're going to talk about Standard 644, which are the Greco-Persian Wars. Now, raise your hand if you remember which two main city-states we talked about. Okay, we did posters on them, right? Athens and Sparta. Raise your hand with a 1 or a 2. Which one was mostly learning and wanted, raise your hand, mostly learning. Okay, 1 for Athens, 2 for Sparta. 1, right? And which one was mostly soldiers? 2 for Sparta. We do realize that Athens wanted to be a world player. They wanted to expand. They wanted to have a lot of trade. They wanted to be in the mix, as it were. Sparta did not. Sparta wanted to be left alone. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is kind of a continuation of what we talked about yesterday. Even though the Persians were not a standard, the Persians are going to be the big bad guy for the Greeks. And it really starts here. So your head scratcher, how could Athens and Sparta work together to fight a common enemy? Which strength does each city-state offer? Take yourself about 30 seconds and answer that question. So if you're at home, just go ahead and pause this. You don't have to pause it while we're filming. And then you can answer this question. We're going to move on. We know that Athens has the strategy, right? Athens is going to have the strategy. Athens will have the navy. Sparta will have the muscle. Sparta will have the most powerful army, but Athens is going to have the strategy. We should have already known that already. Learning goals. The student will learn the causes of the Persian Wars. The students will be able to describe the major phases of the Persian Wars. The students will learn the impact of the Persian Wars had on the future of Greece. So what are we doing? Why are we doing this? This is a Tennessee tested standard. Now, wherever you are watching this, it could be a New York tested standard or a California tested standard, but this is Tennessee tested standard 644. No, we don't need to go. The Persian Wars helped defend the ideas of democracy from a quick death. Raise your hand if you remember which city-state had democracy. Okay, 1 or 2. 1 being Athens, 2 being Sparta. 1, right. The Persian Wars are connected to the ancient Mesopotamians and the ancient Israelites. This is talked about in the book of Daniel, chapter 11. So our essential question, go ahead and write this down. Why is cooperation essential for survival? Make sure you have a question. Why is cooperation essential for survival? All right, next. Who fought? The Persians fought against the Greeks. Persia was ruled by Darius and Xerxes. And the Greeks are going to be the Athenians, the Spartans, and the Ionians. Wait a minute, go back up. Now we're filling in the blanks. These got fill in the blanks. Shake your head yes or no. This one? Yeah, okay. I'll have everybody thumbs up. Thumbs up if you're done, thumbs down if you're still writing. Okay. Thumbs up if you're done. Okay. Next. When were the Persian Wars fought? Part 1 was fought in 499 through 490 BC. Why did it take so long? Travel was slow. Communication was slow. It lasted about 10 years. Part 2 lasted about 1 year and was 10 years after the first one. So there's going to be 2. They're going to be 10 years apart. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Up. Thumbs down, you're still right. Okay. Next. What were the causes of the Persian Wars? Persia controlled Ionia, which is on Asia Minor, but Greeks were already living there. In 499 BC, when Persian king Darius raised taxes, the Ionian Greeks got mad and revolted and burned the Persian city of Sardis. Athens backed them up. Now ask yourself, why would Athens back them up? For one thing, it only strengthened Athens if Persia was weakened. Athens wanted to have influence over Ionia. Ionia is right next door. That's in Asia Minor. We know that Greece and Asia Minor are right next to each other. So if the Persians were kicked out of Asia Minor, then the Athenians could control that trade. And we also know that there were Greeks living there. Remember, Persians were all the way from what is now Iran, a long ways away. These were Greeks, and the Athenians wanted to have influence over all the Greeks. But here's the problem. Athens is one city-state. Persia is a huge empire, 2,000 miles long. They control not only their own land in Iran, they control Babylon. They control Nineveh in Assyria. They control Jerusalem. They control Thebes and Memphis in Egypt. They have all these people. It is extremely foolish of the Athenians to get involved. What they were hoping was that they could be defeated and they would just leave. But that's not what happened. The Persians crushed these revolts. So King Darius was so obsessed with revenge. Okay? So it takes a while. Remember, he's living in Persepolis. It takes a while for information to travel back and forth. For example, you're going to learn about in 8th grade, the most famous battle of the War of 1812 was fought 6 months after the treaty was signed, after it was over. Nah, not 6 months, a few months after the war was over. Because travel and communication was slow. There were no cell phones. There was no email. There was no text messages. You had to get your information on horseback, traveling to and fro. And so Darius was so angry about this that he had one of his servants whisper in his ear every single day before he took the first bite of every meal, "Remember Athens." You think that gets in your brain? You think that gets in your brain? If before you eat, before you take the first bite of every meal, you have someone whisper in your ear, "Remember Athens." That'd drive you nuts. So do you think Darius is going to take his revenge on Athens? Absolutely he is. Next. So here is where Ionia is. Ionia is way over here on the coast of Asia Minor. Okay? Here is where Athens is. All the way over here. Where is Persepolis? That's where Darius is. This is way far away. So it infuriates Darius that this one little city is causing his problems. So Darius determines that he's going to not only defeat Athens. What's he going to do to Athens? Destroy it, right? Okay, next. So there are two major battles. The Battle of Aricia, which is a city north of Athens. So go back up. So here's what's going to happen, is the Persians are going to get on their ships, and they're going to sail all the way to the Peloponnesian Peninsula. Then they are going to march on Athens and destroy it. So who does Athens need to help them? We're not going to talk. That's all right. They're going to need Spartans to help them. So they asked the Spartans to help them. What do you think the Spartans say? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Mixture. We'll see. Next. So the Battle of Aricia was a city north of Athens, was burned by the Persians. It angered Athens, and they asked Sparta for help. And thumbs up if you just got it right on this one. Thumbs down if we can move on. Okay, next. The Battle of Marathon. Sparta and Athens worked together almost. You're like, what? Almost?
Hey, Coach Ken.
Yeah.
Hey, can you pick up real quick?
Sure. Hello? Yeah, I'm doing okay. I guess we'll do the answer to that, don't we? All right, see ya. All right, like I've said many times, this is a regular classroom, so you're getting the whole experience. So anyway, the Athenians asked the Spartans for help. Okay, and the king of the army wants to help, but they can't, because the king of the city says, "Look, we're having this religious festival. We're celebrating whatever god they were celebrating. This lasts 7 days. When it's over, we will come help you." Okay, but the problem is it's not over. So the guy that they send, listen to this. So this man who was from Athens, his name is Phidippides. They send Phidippides the 70 miles to go ask the Spartans for help. He then comes back 70 miles. Okay, he does this in 4 days. Now he's doing this like on foot or on horseback. He runs the distance. Okay, so then you have this battle. Persia has 25,000 soldiers. The Greeks have 10,000 soldiers. Now, what happens is you're going to tilt the camera. Okay, you're going to tilt the camera over here to this screen. Make sure you don't get anybody in there. Okay, so here's what happens in the battle. So the Persians are on the sea. This is known as the Battle of Marathon. Okay, so the Persians are coming in from the beach. Okay, up here are the Athenians. They've got people here. They've got people here. They've got people here. They've got people here. So the Persians will come at them. The Athenians will retreat. So far, the Persians will chase them, and then they'll stop and get in their phalanx, which I'm going to show you what that is here in a minute. And then they attack from both sides. So even though they're outnumbered almost 3-1, they end up killing 6,400 Persians. Tilt this back here. 6,400 Persians, and only 192 Greeks died. They killed 6,400 to 192. They slaughtered the Persians so bad that the Persians ran back to their boats, and as they're climbing on the boats, the Athenians cut their arms off and drug them out and killed them all. And then they killed, look how many they killed. They only had 25,000. They killed 25% of them, or a little bit over 25% of them. It's a huge victory. Huge victory. Go ahead. So here's what a phalanx is. You're going to have metal shields interlocking together. Okay? You're also going to have spears. So you've got your shield and you've got your spear. Okay? So the guys in front, are going to have their shield and their spears like this. Okay? The guys behind them will bring their shields over. They're protecting their shoulders, and they will have spears up top. So you're going to have guys coming down with spears on the head and the chest, and you've got guys coming low on the legs and the groin and the stomach. Okay? Now they have these metal laced shields, these bronze spears, and also when you lock those together, I'm going to show you this here in just a minute. These guys had wicker or wooden shields. They just couldn't hang. Now there was so much more of them, but They could not resist him. So here's what I want you to do. You keep filming. Oh, I can't show this on the screen. That's okay. Well, I'll show you when it's over. I'm going to show you the effect of the phalanx. Okay? But so what you're doing is you're facing guys with shields protecting them, and then you're going to have and they're going to have their spears right here coming forward, and then you're going to have other guys with their shields right here, and they've got spears up top. Okay? And then you're going to have guys behind them with their shield right behind their back. So can you overrun them? No, you're bracing them. That's called a phalanx. And yes, you're going to have archers and spearmen and javelin throwers, but you can't get through that phalanx. And when they drop back into this formation, and then they shield it up, okay, and then they come at him again from the sides, it's a slaughter. It's an absolute slaughter, okay? So here's kind of what it's going to look like. I don't know that the spears were quite that long, but I don't know. That's a little more accurate. That's from the movie 300. Okay, now, that movie is not made for children. Okay? But when you get old enough, it is a very, very good movie. You boys especially will like it. Okay, we're going to watch a few clips of it. All right, so the Battle of Marathon, the hoplites. The hoplites are the elite soldiers that fought in the phalanx. Is this thumbs up if you have to write? Okay, you do have to write on this one? Is there any blanks to fill in? No? Okay, next. So here's the Greek strategy. You're going to let the Persians get in, then you're going to get them. They're going to retreat. They're going to kind of, as soon as these guys come forward, they're going to come forward and circle them up. Brilliant strategy. Next. So, Phidippides. Y'all remember Phidippides? That's the guy that ran 70 miles to Sparta, asked him for help. They turned him down. He ran 70 miles back. When the battle is over, he runs from the battlefield all the way to Athens, which is 26.2 miles away. Anybody ever seen a sticker that says 26.2? Raise your hand if you've seen that on people's cars. Okay? That's the distance of a marathon. And that's because, go back up, because this is the Battle of Marathon. And Marathon is 26.2 miles from Athens. So people who run that race is because of this battle 2,500 years ago. That's the Battle of Marathon. So Phidippides, this is in honor of Phidippides. Phidippides runs all the way to the center. He runs all the way to Athens, 26 miles away, runs all the way up to the Acropolis, that hill, gets to the council, and yells, Nike. Anybody remember what Nike means? It means victory, and then dies. He drops dead and dies of exhaustion. Think of what he had to run in just 4 days. He had to run about 150 miles, and then he drops dead of exhaustion. Next. So there's Phidippides, okay? By the way, grow up, okay? The Greeks are always going to do statues and paintings or whatever of the naked body. The Greeks believed that the human body was the perfect form, and they wanted to draw it like that. So they didn't run around naked all the time. Next. But we get that from it, right? Next. Next again, let's see if we can press this. The legend, here's the legend. Can you click on that? Click on that. Let's see if it brings it up. No, it doesn't do it. Well, I'll show you that at the end of class. Go back down here. Right there. Okay, down. All right, the First Persian War in review. The war starts because the Greeks on the mainland helped the Greeks in Ionia and Asia Minor revolt against the Persians. The first war is fought by the Persian king Darius. The Battle of Marathon, the Athenians destroy the Persian army as it lands from the sea. 192 Athenians died compared to 6,400 Persians. Now, according to Greek historian Herodotus, you got 10,000 Athenians defeat 200,000. Probably not. Right? That's a little over-exaggeration. Phidippides runs the 26 miles to Athens to celebrate the victory and yells Nike, and then he dies. The marathon race gets its name from this battle. Thumbs up if you're still writing. Now, if you're watching at home, after you watch this video, go ahead and go to YouTube and type in horrible histories. And you're going to type in Battle of Marathon. It's really funny. I have also linked on the Ancient Greece playlist an hour-and-a-half video that talks about both Persian wars. It's very good. I recommend you watch it at home. It's good. Go back up. Somebody's still writing. So it's hard for us not to pull for the Greeks. They had such a major victory against overwhelming odds. They're just defending other Greeks. They're telling, the Athenians are saying, we're defending our democracy, which they were. If they had have lost, democracy would have ended. But then again, whose fault is it? The Athenians didn't have to stick their nose where it didn't belong in someone else's business, but they did. But the winners are going to write the history. Still writing? Thumbs up if you're still writing. Next. So the major event is the Battle of Marathon. Next again. After the war, Darius is humiliated. He passes his hated and lust for vengeance against Athens onto his son Xerxes. It's still writing. Next. Themistocles. So Themistocles was one of the generals for the Athenians. He says, look, we've got to have a navy because the Persians are going to come back. And everybody was like, no, they're not going to come back. We've already defeated them once. And he keeps saying, they're going to come back and they're going to use different tactics. They're going to come at us from the sea again and Athens will be defenseless. We have to have a navy. And everybody's like, no, we don't want that. We don't want that. Next. So just at that time, they discovered a silver mine. Okay? And so the amount of money that each person would have got would have been about $1,600 today, which is not a small amount of money. But Themistocles says, look, we ought to use this money from the silver to build ships. So what he does is Themistocles lies to the people and says, look, another Greek city-state are becoming pirates and attacking our trade ships. So we have to have a navy to defend them. Was he telling the truth? No, he's lying. He was lying to them to get what he wanted. Do you think politicians still do that today? Yeah, don't talk. Themistocles, he lies to the people, telling them the neighbor island is threatening their trade power. It works, and Themistocles has his navy. Now, this is a major deal, so pay attention. These ships, I believe this is on the standard. These are called triremes. Triremes, the goal of a trireme, okay, is you're going to have 3 levels of rowers. Your goal is to hit the ship with one of your rams to puncture a hole in the ship, or sail beside them before they pull their oars up and break their oars. Anybody know what happens when a ship with oars has their oars broken? They're stranded, aren't they? You can just leave them there, drown, or you could set fire to their ship and you could drown them that way, or you could board their ship with arrows, or you could wait till they starve out and you could capture them for slaves. So you're trying to break their oars. So were you successful? Go ahead and answer these 7 questions. Okay, we're going to pause. You're going to pause this at home and answer these questions. We're going to go ahead and go straight in. I'm going to go ahead and go straight into the answers. Why did Darius want to destroy Athens? He wanted revenge for Athens sticking their nose into Persian business. What was a phalanx? A phalanx was the formation of Greeks interlocking shields and spears. Why did Sparta not help at the Battle of Marathon? They had a religious festival and they didn't leave. Who won the Battle of Marathon? Athens. Why was the Athenian runner Phidippides so important? He's the one who announced the victory. That's where we get the marathon from. How long is the marathon race? It is 26.2 miles. What did Athenian general Themistocles want Athens to have after the First Persian War? He wanted them to have a navy. Okay, so, all right, as we say in my class all the time, we always say, go forth and learn because knowledge is power.